Are you ready to become yourself? For years, dozens of people from all walks of life have turned to this one man, Leslie Tanner, desperate for the tools to reshape their life in our raised, godless world. Utilizing a unique blend of good-natured humor and brass tacks education, his innovative approach has helped innumerable people reach new levels of consciousness and personal power. Leslie Tanner, a controversial but selfless and massively influential figure, defies categorization. Since he and his life-changing program rose to fame, the expert class has desperately attacked him as a clown, snake oil salesman, or predator, attempting to silence him precisely because he is so effective at helping others become happier and more powerful in their own lives. From the most challenged, the mentally ill, handicapped, women, and mentally retarded, to the most successful athletes, entertainers, business owners, medical doctors. Regardless of your station, Leslie Tanner has committed his life to giving you the tools you need to transform your life. So, are you tired of being in near constant emotional and physical pain? If you could snap your fingers and have $1 million, would you do it? Is there a you buried deep inside whose power and will yearn to be expressed?
It's a whole life-changing program.
If they get half of what I got out of this program, they're going to have a much happier life.
It was fun. I really loved doing the program. I loved learning about myself. It was just amazing.
So if you have an interest in transforming your life once and for all, come along. I have so much to show you. In a moment, you'll have the opportunity to call the number you'll see on the screen and speak to me, Leslie Tanner, directly. Together, we'll tackle the most critical issues related to unlocking your true individual power and reaching your fullest potential. Let today be the first day of the rest of your life. Welcome to Explorations. Ladies and gentlemen, it is wonderful to be with you. It's me, Leslie Tanner, host and founder of the most effective personal power program in the country, Explorations with Leslie Tanner. Well, here we find ourselves on a beautiful Friday summer night, getting ready for the you-know-what, the weekend. So tonight, we are diving headfirst in to discuss the weekend. What are your plans? What are you getting up to? Let's get into it tonight on Explorations with Leslie Tanner. Good evening, explorers. How are we all doing tonight? Namaste. Namaste to everyone in chat, my early birds. I love to see you guys now. How are we all doing? I feel as if we're doing very good. Let's get this light on me. I want to make sure we get a light on me. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. How are we doing? It's wonderful to be with you. Like I said, guys, it is a Friday night. How often do we get to explore on a Friday night, huh? It feels really good. It feels such a beautiful way to round out the week, that work week, that Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 malarkey. And we are here to just really get into a different zone of our minds and spirits. Our minds and our spirits sort of coalescing in a different kind of way. Because during that week, we got that boot on our neck, right? We got that boot on our neck, and we are taking orders. But it's that weekend, and it is that time to just really let that spirit out. Namaste, everybody. It is so good to be with you. Namaste. My name is Leslie Tanner, host and founder of Explorations with Leslie Tanner, the most effective personal power program in the country. And what you are seeing right now is our landmark call-in show. Yes, in a few moments, the line will be open. You'll be able to speak to me directly, Leslie Tanner, as we dive headfirst into tonight's theme, which is the weekend. The weekend. We are getting into the weekend. I want to hear the plans. I want to hear your overall thoughts. And you know what? I was saying this in the Discord a little bit earlier, but I was also saying it in some other places. Let me tell you about something, okay? The weekend is a deceptively simple concept, all right? Now, Tuesday was a night. I don't know how many of you were here for Tuesday, Blessings to you, Pimperknuckle. Good to see. Namaste to you and blessings to you. Thank you for your warm wishes. Never have we explored on a Friday, says OM Godspeed. That's not accurate. That's not accurate. That's not if somebody said that, they're just straight up wrong. They're just flat out wrong. Tropace, I'm ducking text. Tuesday we failed. Yeah, so listen. My weekends are Monday through Tuesday. Oh, so that's funny, Cosmic. That's funny, Cosmic. So I guess now we're in the middle of your week, and then on a Tuesday, when we do our Tuesday streams, that's on your weekend. Oh my goodness gracious, that is so funny. What a funny life, huh? What a funny life you have to lead, and I really appreciate you sharing that. Blessings to you. It's my weekend show. Yeah, so Tuesday. So I'll make sure I remember that for Tuesday, Cosmic. I'll make sure I remember that for Tuesday. I'll make sure to wish you a happy weekend on a Tuesday. Oh my gosh. Oh, Lord Almighty. Well, guys, I am Leslie Tanner. As you know, this is the most effective personal power program. This is the call-in show where we are here to unlock and unleash the power of the next level, as we speak about so frequently here at Explorations. Now, exactly what do we do in this program? Yeah, I maybe a lot of you have heard, like, yeah, we're here to transform. Yeah, we're here to unlock that power. Yeah, we're here to get to that next level. Yep, I sure do like cats. Blessings. Yep, I sure do like cats. Explore failed parent of several. Well, at least not yet. My parents make fun of me for having a crush on Spencer Reed from Criminal Minds. Which one is that? Is that the nerd? Spencer Reed, is that the nerd? Spencer Reed, the nerd? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Pepper and Cheney, haha, their weekend is a different day, hee. Yeah, that is literally what I was just thinking. Literally what I was just feeling is what you just shared in that communal vision, Pepper and Cheney. Haha, their weekend is on a different day, which is, that's the thing. I'm not a comedian, and don't box me and don't look to me for advice about how to do any of that kind of stuff or art in general. But one thing I notice about comedy is this sort of what's funny is what you don't expect, right? You expect that a weekend is going to be that Saturday, Sunday, maybe Friday night. And when you flip it on its head, and you put those 2 days on different days, maybe like in Cosmic Video's situation, maybe a Monday or Tuesday, and that's where you find so much funny stuff. Because I would never have guessed that your weekend was on a Monday or Tuesday. I simply would have never guessed that, Cosmic Video. And that goes for any of you other people. If you have a weekend on a different, what a beautiful way to start off tonight. What a beautiful way to start off tonight. Explorations with Leslie Tanner, exploring the weekend. Well, what if we have a weekend on a different day? What the heck? Communal vision coming in from Pepper and Cheney. Can't wait to get into this perspective. I'm laughing at the idea of Monday, Tuesday weekend, but imagine this. Weekend on a Wednesday or Thursday. See, that's what I'm already there. I'm already there with it. I'm already thinking, Monday, Tuesday. Then why not Wednesday or Thursday? Why not Wednesday or Thursday? Now, Friday being, sometimes we have 3-day weekends, and it starts on a Friday, and so that's not quite as funny, because it's not quite as big of a departure. Not quite as doesn't quite flip the script as much. But definitely that stuff on Monday and Tuesday, that really, I'm going to be thinking about that for a while. I appreciate that. That's absolutely insane. Someone send that to the office or something like that. Like, what if at the office, Michael Scott did let's have our weekend on a Monday or Tuesday instead of a Saturday or Sunday, and Dwight could be like, no. Dwight could kind of just have a panic attack because he's autistic. He's the autistic character. So maybe I have that background, maybe that insight because I'm a therapist, a legally licensed therapist. So, Dwight being the autistic one, and they move the the weekend to Monday and Tuesday, maybe so like he brings a knife to work and he finally stabs Jim. And I don't know. This is, I'm not a writer. This is just off the top of the dome. Communal Vision, Flying Vita. Everyone's mom is a hot, especially Phil. Namaste, everyone. Now, that is just not true. Flying Vita, I appreciate the sentiment a little bit, but honestly, Flying Vita, you got to look at more moms. You got to look at more moms. Just look up moms right now on Google image search. Big dog idea era, ayo, says Framware. So Fram feeling the electricity in the air as well. So Fram is definitely feeling the electricity. Namaste. Namaste, everybody. I'm Godspeed with a communal vision. I can't wait to get into this perspective either. Thank you so much, Godspeed. I really appreciate this. I just had an insane idea. Weekend that changes by one day each week. Now that's more like sci-fi though, to be honest. I mean, that's a kind of that's that genre difference that I'm not very acquainted with, but I know some people who do write and they talk to me about that. They talk to you if the weekend moves, that's like Black Mirror. You know what I mean? That's like a Black Mirror episode where they're on a carousel and the carousel is making everybody gay, and they get a 2-day break, and it moves by a day, and then there's and then everyone's just gay eventually, and it's against their will. They're turned straight from gay. It's the gay carousel, and the weekend moves. That could be beautiful. I think that's a wonderful. The Weekend on Explorations with Leslie Tanner. Cooker Pie with 200 bits. Can't wait to get into this perspective. Leslie, have you actually seen Black Mirror? Yeah, I've seen Black Mirror. That feels like a good episode. That feels like a solid. I would say, especially they start off that one season by that guy fucking a pig, right? He just fucks a pig. Mine is more of like a slice of life ambient episode. You know what I mean? It's just a gay carousel. Carousels are kind of gay. Everybody knows that. That's not that big of a departure. It's the weekend thing that Godspeed brought up. That's really the sci-fi part. Pepper and Genie, Black Mirror episode. You work on the weekend, but the weekday you don't work. Kind of a reflection on society through the lens of twisted sci-fi tropes. Pepper and Genie's onto something. Now that's the stuff that I couldn't come up with. That's that stuff I could not come up with that kind of stuff. That is serious stuff. That's the mark of a true artist, to think and stuff like that. Because not in a million years could I have thought of something like that. Not in a million years. That kind of stuff. That's nuts. That's crazy. Working on the weekend and then having the weekday off. Reflection on society, that's a whole other, society. Thinking about society is such a, that could say so much about society and gender. Why not? Make some of them trans. Maybe the trans people are saying, no, we got to work on the weekdays and have the weekends off. This is the topsy-turvy world. But it takes the outside perspective of a trans person to be able to point that out. Sort of a hero in a bizarro world, but ultimately they hate them. They hate the trans person in that world too. Namaste. I just take all days off. Simple, says 7 cards. Pimp or Knuckle with 102 bits. A quick affirmation for days. Listen, we need your outside perspective. We need you to pipe up, all right? Starting now. All right, that was for days. Pimp or Knuckle, namaste. That was a gift from Pimp or Knuckle to all days. Well, what a wonderful start we're having already. Namaste, everybody. Welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. We're going to be exploring the weekend tonight. The weekend all night, and already off to an electric start. We can feel the electricity in the chat already. It's off the hinges already. On the unplug, have you ever squeezed the dome of your peen? It makes your pee hole look like it's talking to googly eyes, and boom, checkmate life. Quite sure exactly what you're getting at, but I have done that. I'm familiar with the phenomenon. You can kind of make your the tip of your penis, the tip of your urethra moves like a Muppet mouth for a little bit, and that can be a lot of fun. But in order to get it to be like a mouth, you'd have to turn your penis sideways, and then you have to put the googly eyes, one on the tip and one on the on the other side of the rim. And then you've got like a dark man situation, right? Then you've got a dark man. Affirmation for fellas, listen, there is no limit to the creativity of let's do go back. I'm going to get poetic with this one. Real quick, so baby, give me that toot toot, and let me give you that beep beep. Yeah, you know what? And Poor, thank you so much. I am officially declaring that it's okay that we get back into his music. I know it's not going to be for everybody, and I know that's very brave of me to say. Soaring through the sky, there can only be one touch of the ground, and then you're right back up to the sky where you belong. And it was abstract, it was solid. So let's get through some points of business real fast, and then we'll open up the lines. Namaste. Real quick, guys, send me something in the mail. P.O. Box 47621, Chicago, Illinois, 60647. Postcard, a letter, a package, any dang old thing you want to send to me, I will receive it there. I have a great relationship. Somebody tried to ruin it with that fake herpes test, but I have a great relationship with the officers of the post office, and those officers really respect me and respect the program. They love. I work with them all the time, one-on-one and as a group. Namaste. So send me stuff to that. Guys, if you are impressed by the tools of transformation here in the most effective personal power program in the country, I invite you formally and officially to join my community of devoted light at patreon.com. Community of devoted light at patreon.com. Go ahead and and click that link I just dropped into the chat. You'll get some instructions of how you can avail yourself to exclusive program materials, podcasts, videos, music downloads, monthly postcard, all of this at your fingertips tonight for only a couple dollars a month. More details about that a little bit later, but if you're ever interested, ! Final Journey to begin your final journey tonight, and enter my community of devoted light at patreon.com. Namaste. Now, guys, enough is enough. You guys know what it's all about. It's about the weekend tonight. Let's open up that damn line. Wow, somebody was ready. Guess who it is? Caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What's something I could call you tonight? Michaela, welcome to the program, hon. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I have a mud mask on my face because I'm ready for the weekend.
There we go, Michaela, getting ready, sort of doing a mud mask. What does a mud mask do, Michaela?
Allegedly, it helps with my oily skin and acne, but who knows? It mostly just kind of makes me look really, really racist for a little while until I wash it off. Right. And if only racism was that simple, huh? Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful, and I really appreciate that. Now, so is this a normal weekend activity for you, putting on the mud mask?
Sometimes, because I'm going to take a shower in a minute, and so I figured them out as well. But
oh, okay.
You know what else? You know what else is a normal weekend activity? Is going out, right? Going out with my friend.
Yeah, that's right. Your single friend, right? Who's married.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
We're going to go to a place tomorrow, and I'm excited for that.
All right. Is it just you and her, or is it a trio?
No, it's just me and her.
Look at that. Look at that. Just some gal time. Now, what's the kind of place that you're going to, huh?
We're going to this like place called the Truck Yard or something. There's like a bunch of different bars and stuff, and it's also connected to a toilet seat cover art museum. Which is like, there's this one weirdo who like spent his entire life taking toilet seat covers and decorating them, and then he like covered the entire wall of this big room with them.
Is he an outside artist?
What?
You know what I mean? Have you heard that term, an outside artist?
I mean, I'm sure he's been outside before.
Yeah, no, it's a way for people, like somebody who's just like a little, for lack of a better term, kind of retarded and makes a bunch of art.
Oh, I don't know. I will look more closely at his bio.
Yeah, check that out. You check that out because it sounds like it. Maybe not retarded, maybe some other malady or something like this. But you know, quirky. Yeah, quirky. I love that diagnosis. I love you know, I love getting I love sending a kid back to his parents and just saying like, yeah, your son's a little quirky, and then never say anything to them again. Now, okay, right. So you're going to this toilet seat art thing, and
well, that's part of it. It's related to it, yeah.
Okay. And you're looking forward to it. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I like to go out with her to places, and we like to joke like, oh, you know, well, not joke, but she's like, oh, what about that guy? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go talk to him, and then I maybe say a word, but we mostly just don't do anything.
Communal vision, real quick, from Pepper and Sheeny. Honk shoe, zzz, honk shoe, zzz, honk shoe, zzz, honk shoe.
Where do you think the Z meaning snoring?
Loudmouth rating us Namaste Raiders. Welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. Fluxstorm Zero, caller, you have strong outside artist energy. You should consider doing art.
I do art. I already do art.
So, yeah, there we go. Now, beautiful. Already the synergy. So, Fluxstorm Zero, you called it right. Things are connecting tonight. There's an electricity in the chat. We are connecting A to B, and it's practically connecting itself. Beautiful stuff, Fluxstorm. And Raiders, welcome. Welcome, Raiders. Everybody welcome the Loudmouth Raiders to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. Guys, welcome to the most effective personal power program in the country. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Should you feel compelled to hit follow and get those channel points to guide your individual and our collective exploration this evening as we explore the weekend. As we explore the weekend. Loudmouth, how was the stream? Loudmouth, talk to me. How was the stream? I gotta know. I gotta know what kind of vibe we ended up with. Because if I don't know that I don't know what kind of energy we're dealing with right now. Chat, where the hell did you guys go? This guy's dropping pearls. Namaste.
Is that a euphemism?
I think it could be for wisdom, but I also, it's 50-50 between wisdom and calm when I hear pearls.
That's not the texture you should.
Or clutch your pearls, right? Clutch your pearls. Loudmouth says dark energy. It was dark energy. Beautiful. We need a little bit of that. So we've been having a lot of kind of lighthearted fun here tonight at Explorations. I'm ready for a surge of dark energy. Thank you so much, Dark Lord essentially Loudmouth. Thank you for bringing your dark little disciples here. Namaste. Fluxstorm Zero gifting a sub to Loudmouth. Very generous, Fluxy. Fluxy, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Namaste to you. Namaste. Now,
I could make it darker. Do you want me to make it darker?
Sure. Take a whack at it.
Okay. I'm taking care of a dying woman.
Oh, well, it's kind of your job.
Yeah. I don't know. I live a pretty good life. I guess I don't have a whole lot of dark stuff.
Yeah, so you kind of failed, huh?
Okay.
Try a little harder. Let's go.
Up. Okay. My parents, they don't understand me. No, that's nothing. That's
no. You know, honestly, that's better. That's warmer. That's a step in the right direction.
You would say that's more tragic than a woman dying?
An old lady?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, she's younger than her husband by like 20 years.
How old?
She's in her late 70s, I think, and he's in his 90s.
No. You've got a whole miserable life to live because your parents don't understand you. Yeah, it's Jessica. Well, you are really inspiring the community. We got to get through these communal visions. Jessica Barris, tell the dying woman all about your great life. That's solid, actually.
She's from New York. I don't think she wants to. I don't think it's interesting enough for her to know.
Well, I think the less interesting, the better. If it's boring and it's pleasant, then I think that's definitely maybe more in the zone. Whatever you can do to really highlight how scary it's going to be for her. OM Godspeed with a communal vision. I believe it's related to the old phrase, busting rope before swine, relating to sharing knowledge with those unable to understand or accept it. Old English, 1670.
Oh, well, that was in the Bible, too. Don't cast pearls before swine.
Interesting. Yeah. Don't bust ropes. Don't shoot ropes.
Like Spider-Man.
Right, like Spider-Man. Very good point. Well, Michaela, this has been a really terrific call. I appreciate you calling in. Anything else you want to share?
I'm working on the package that I'm going to send you in Niche.
Please. I can't wait to get it.
You're going to love it.
Namaste. I'm genuinely very looking forward to it. Let me know when you send it.
Yeah, wait, real quick. Are you drinking whiskey?
No, I used to do that on stream, but this is just energy drink.
In a
rocks glass.
All right. I mean, what is it? Is it
All right. I'm not dealing with that. No, we're not little giggles. I'm not doing that tonight. Cuckoo pie. Old people are not afraid of dying. They flaunt death constantly. Have you ever looked on the face of a person who died? Not chill. They were definitely afraid. Did this example of the person, how would their face look like? Cuckoo pie. Seven 708-240-8953. 708-240-8953. Not Mish. 200 bits and a communal vision. Can't wait to get this perspective. Leslie used to drink Tang and whiskey while streaming. That's true. That's 100% true. Whiskey Tangs. I loved them. Now I'm going to say, caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What's something I could call you tonight?
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini, welcome back to the program. We got a quick communal vision before we get into anything. Very still, not afraid. Well, I mean, that's definitely an exception. I have not seen that. Every single person, I've seen quite a few people die. Every single person that I've worked with that died definitely was scared. Their eyes were just like looked beyond something and frozen as their body sort of just shut down. Donkey Punch, namaste, and welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. Great to have you on board. Blessings and namaste. Now, Pepperoncini, how you doing tonight, brother?
Good. Thank you for putting that Italian flair on my name. That really hypes me the fuck up.
Pepperoncini. Yeah, they love the drama.
They do.
They do. Yeah. They love the little inflections and the consonants.
Yeah, they really want to know what you're saying and how they're feeling about it. Like, even if you're like a level 10 autistic, the emotions of an Italian person. It breaks through. that barrier.
That'd be funny. Yeah, Love on the Spectrum, take an Italian trip. And they're just like, we get it. What's their names? What are some of their names? See,
Giuseppe?
Huh?
Giuseppe?
Giuseppe?
Would that be an Italian guy's name, right?
Yeah. So I'm trying to. Who was doing a really good impression of Giuseppe the other day? Oh no, never mind. It wasn't on the stream. Of Love on the Spectrum. Anyway, so Pepperoncini, something you never call on accident, brother Pepperoncini. So tell me, what's on your mind? We're exploring the weekend tonight.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the weekend in relation to the tenets of the program.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's exactly what we need right now. Go ahead and take us into what your thoughts are right now.
My thought is the weekend is a great time for relaxing. And people who are not familiar with the program would, of course, think that I'm talking about it's a great time to unwind, right? You're off work. You're going to toilet paper concerts or whatever the fuck you're doing,
right?
To tell yourself that you're having a good time,
right.
Right. But if you're initiated into the program and you are following the tenet of relax, it means that you are spending that time on the weekend telling yourself that you need to do work that you didn't finish over the weekday. Right, I'm gonna catch up on that on the weekend. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get where I need to be for Monday, and then procrastinating on it, but still holding the terror and the anxiety that comes from having not done the work, and then kind of really not even doing it, but having wasted the weekend telling yourself you were going to, and then still not being prepared for the next part of the week.
Oh my goodness gracious! Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you were you could not now. One of the reasons this program is so effective is its universality. Anyone can pick up the tools here and make it work in their life, unlocking a power inside of them that they've only ever dreamed of. Now, what we just heard from Pepperoncini, though, is a very specific, albeit specific, but a very effective application of the first tenet of the program, which is to relax. Now, here at Explorations, of course, as Pepperoncini was saying, we do not relax in a conventional, way. We don't like light a candle and kick our feet up and do massage stuff.
The post office should have a hangout area. I would kill political officials to achieve this end.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bitwars. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for those bits. Now, back to relaxing. Relaxing is something that, in a Leslian sense, is very uncomfortable. By design, it is uncomfortable. And in fact, if it is uncomfortable, then it is relaxing in a Leslian sense. And what a beautiful application, though. Pepperoncini saying, taking what is supposed to be rest and just really lashing himself with things that he feels like he should do, and he's continually not doing them. Sort of taking quality away from the time in which he should be relaxing, and ultimately relaxing in a Leslian sense. And so, what kind of perspective do you feel this gives you, Pepperoncini, relaxing this way?
I think it tells me the attempt at getting away from the anxiety is just never possible, right? You just truly can't disconnect from it. And you can always be relaxing.
Cougar Pie with a communal vision real fast. Cougar Pie with a communal vision. Leslie, please ask Pepper how he hurt his wrist.
Good question, Cougar Pie. So I get arthritic flare-ups every now and then. I have a medication that I take for them. And sometimes it just, the medication isn't enough and I have a bad flare up, and I'm a software engineer, and so I'll be typing a ton, and that will, like, if I'm having some pain, it'll exacerbate it. So I was doing work and it blew up. So I am now I got a steroid shot yesterday and taking some ibuprofen and hoping it improves.
Oh my goodness. And then so add that to the situation, you've got a built-in sort of relaxation technique with your injury.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Now, Pepper and Chini. One thing that you came up earlier very quickly at the beginning of the stream tonight. Those of you that were not here, if you came maybe in the loudmouth raid and you were unfamiliar with what we were covering together at the beginning of tonight's stream, we were just kind of getting in the weekend. We're sort of just peeling back the layers, getting into some silly stuff. And one thing that you mentioned that really this is why I think you've got a really strong creative mind. Somebody said their weekend was on a Monday and a Tuesday, right? And I was just having a ball with that.
Can you believe that?
I was having a ball. I was having a ball with that. I just couldn't get over, there's the idea of a weekend being on a couple of different days. And then you took it even one step further. And go ahead and tell chat what you shared.
I thought, okay, man, still, sorry, even Monday to Tuesday is crazy.
I know.
But then this idea that what if you just went a little bit further away from that normal weekend? You're smack dab in the middle of the goddamn week with a Wednesday off and a Thursday off, right? You are the furthest away. You're going, nothing interesting is open. Your neighbor's probably mowing their lawn, 6 a.m. You're not getting good sleep because it's just.
You're not sleeping in.
No.
You're not going to a restaurant to be with people. Your friends don't want to go out to eat or go see a movie.
Right.
The putt golf places close early on those days. There's just not a whole lot you can do. And so that's so funny. That's so funny to me. I mean,
yeah. I imagine, and the thing is, if you're like, unless you're like a doctor, but doctors don't have a weekend off. They have they're on for a certain period of days and then they go off certain. So I don't count that. But if you're one of these people that works one of these Wednesday, Thursday day off, you're probably poor. You probably do not have 2 tubs. Right.
Because what you probably have is a service job. And you're serving the people who have money to spend.
Yes. Yep, exactly. And you get to watch them, right, on that weekend. They're lapping it up, right? Mm-hmm. They're eating the oysters. They're sucking down brews left and right. You're like, oh, I wish that was me. No, I just have to go after work and be a degenerate and stay up until 4 a.m. at the service bar, hanging out with people who would likely steal everything I have and don't care for me an ounce.
They're doing drugs. They're waiting for you to fall asleep so they can touch you at the bar and stuff like that. That's the kind of place. And imagine this for a moment. While you're exploring that, this image kind of just flooded into my mind. It flooded into my mind, thinking, if you got a weekend on Wednesday and Thursday, imagine you work and then you're like, oh man, I can't wait for Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for Tuesday night to get here. Tuesday night.
Yep, can't wait to watch Toaster stream after Leslie goes off at 2 in the
2 in, yeah, and watch a bunch of other degenerates, vaping and watching Toaster just do nothing for upwards of 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. Which I do respect that he does, but at the same time, I think the picture that we're painting is really a bleak one.
Yeah, there was one time I watched Toaster. It was a while back, but I think it was about 10 or 15 minutes at the end of his stream where he just kept saying what and not responding to anything that chat said, and then just turned it off. It was great.
Yeah, he's an artist for sure. He'd probably be uncomfortable to hear that, but you got to respect his commitment. And one thing I did overhear that he said last night, though, that he said that I messaged him about streaming tonight, because he said that I understand very well that Friday night is his night, and that I can stream. That I called him for permission to stream on a Friday. That absolutely did not happen, and I would never message him, let alone for that.
That doesn't sound true to me, and I know Toaster rather well. I don't think he knows how to make a phone call. I think only to you is the only person who uses his phone to call. And then everything else is through Discord. And I don't think he's ever initiated like a Discord call. So I think it's a lie, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? I wouldn't worry about it too much.
I know. I just want to just clear the record though, because he did say it. I did hear it, and that is just an absolute false, flat out lie. And for somebody who comes and talks a lot of nonsense to me, really runs me through the ringer. And for him to do that, to just lie like that,
no, I mean,
is something.
It's crazy. It's crazy because he has admitted himself that he is a Leslie Tanner waiting room. And I don't think that's how the relationship between like a waiting room stream and the actual stream works. I think he really
that's
set
a
the
that's a
tone.
really good
Kind
point.
of my understanding.
Quick affirmation for women. Listen, if you got a best friend and they're lying about you on the internet, take out the trash. That was for Bit Wars. Namaste. Bit Wars giving a gift to women everywhere this Pride Month. Namaste. Now,
Powerful Explorer, Bit Wars.
What was that?
In my opinion. I was saying Bit Wars is a powerful explorer.
Truly. We've really seen Bit Wars kind of shoot up. Bit Wars stars shooting up here within explorations, and it's been a treat to see. A treat for all of us to just sort of witness. Very strong explorer. Bit Wars, namaste to you, and thank you. Hopefully we get a call from Bit Wars tonight. Well, listen, Pepperoncini, I know you're no longer a moderator, but I still feel as if we have a good rapport. And I'm glad that we were able to repair what had happened, early, I think it was last month. And so I'm glad. I feel good about where we're at. How about you?
I do. I still wonder about Larry Picklejar. I know, I don't want to keep dredging it up, but giving him the role of a number one Miss Rachel fan. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah,
Larry.
Yeah, no, it was that. It was a couple of things. It was that and some other stuff. Larry Picklejar got very upset and has not been back since. This is serious. You can message him and ask him about it. He left. He was upset, and I understand why he was upset. But I just want everybody to know still that just in case you forgot, for the month of June 2025, guess who's the Explorer of the Month? One moment. That's right. Larry Picklejar, Explorer of the Month, June 2025. Chaotic Neutral. Genuinely the first patron of the program. Namaste. I don't think he's opened up a single thing that I've sent him in the mail. But I appreciate his chaotic energy. Always will. Namaste. Well, yeah. So listen, just in case Larry Picklejar, sees this, is there a message that you want to send to him, Pepperoncini, tonight?
Tell him that I've changed my mind. I do agree that children should not have the toys they want. They should not be allowed to play with toys, nor have cookies. So I agree.
He won you over. He got you on his side.
Yeah,
okay.
He sure did.
Okay, beautiful. And then Cougar Pie with a communal vision. Larry, we love you and miss and want you back, buddy. Interesting. Okay, well, there it is. Larry Picklejar, if you're out there, hopefully this reaches you. Namaste to you, brother. You always got a spot here. Now, Pepperoncini, this has been, I feel as if we could gab all night, couple of hens like us. But I want to just kind of, before we move on, I want to thank you for, coming back here in good faith and sort of working on this together.
Thank you, Guru. I think it's important. I really do want us to make sure that we're talking about the program and we're learning something from these explorations, right? I understand for a lot of people, this show is therapy for them to call in to talk about the mundane minutia of their life and just have have to insist to share it with people every possible time that they can, both in the Discord and through calls. And I just want to say, like, try to bring it back to the program. This is my advice to callers. Bring it to the tenants. Let the guru guide you to that if you don't know how. And thank you for the call. I really appreciate you taking my call tonight.
Of course, Pepperoncini. That was a very succinct and beautiful message. I appreciate you calling tonight.
All right. Good evening.
Namaste. Good evening. 708-240-8953. Caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What's something I can call you tonight?
Hey, Leslie. My name is Sam.
Sam!
I'm very new.
Sam, beautiful stuff. Sam, so you're very new. Did you just kind of stumble on us tonight for the first time?
This is actually the fourth time I've come in. I've been a little gun shy.
I understand.
I've been dipping my toe in.
You know, Sam, that just reminded me, the first, back in the day, I've been running this show for a couple years now, but back in the day, I was about a year in. I figured, oh yeah, I got so many reps under my belt. I was going to call into some other call-in show on Twitch, and I got nervous calling into the show. That's funny, right? There's just something about it.
It is. It's a weird thing. This is the first time I've ever called into a Twitch show.
Oh, really? Well, Namaste, beautiful. Well, tell me, Sam, how'd you find us here? How'd you stumble upon Explorations?
So it's a little bit of a weird, convoluted path, which I assume is how everyone.
Oh, there's so many. Yeah, there's so many stories like that. But go ahead with yours.
Yeah. So there was an Australian streamer named The Monolith who happened to one time name drop some kind of philosopher guy named Aristotle. And then I followed over to Aristotle and was watching his philosophy things because I've been searching for answers. I have been wanting to explore myself and the world. And then Aristotle said, hey, there's this dude named Leslie Tanner. You should check him out. And I turned on and I was blown away. I've never seen anything like it.
Aristotle, I love working with Aristotle. Aristotle is not only a friend of the program, but somebody who's really made the program work in his life. I feel like you can really tell immediately. You chime in there, and there's a certain just immediate activated energy in his work. The one cast namaste. Thank you so much for these bits. But there's an immediate energy there that's undeniable. You can kind of feel the fingerprints of the program on somebody. Helix, namaste to you. Welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner, the most effective personal power program in the country. Namaste.
Namaste to you.
Now, so looking for answers.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question, Sam?
Yes. Thank you for asking.
What was the question? What were the questions?
What were my questions?
Yes.
That I am seeking.
Yes, you're looking for answers. Answers to what questions?
The biggest question that I have asked and that I would like an answer for is, why is it that when people are poor, they say this is all the things that we would do when we're rich. And then when they get rich, they do none of them.
Give us an example. I'm sure this is a lot of people are familiar with this sort of stuff, but give us some examples that you can think of off the top of your head.
Right. So for other normies like me who work a job and have a boss, there's lots of times where I sat down and I said, "What the fuck is wrong with this boss? Is swearing allowed on here? I guess I should ask."
Absolutely. Just none of the big ones. None of the TOS ones.
Gotcha.
Everything else, go for it.
Awesome. So you're like, what the fuck? Why did my boss make this decision? Right? This is the dumbest decision you could ever possibly make.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, but that always happens every time with every boss. It's not like it's unique to the one boss. And so, and the further up you go, the more you see that. You start going, well, why did that politician sell out the people again? Why did that leader of whatever group abuse everyone under them, whatever, because somewhere they had to start somewhere where they didn't have all that power. So I want to know, what is it that when you get power, like the phrase, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely, how does that happen?
Interesting questions. Now. Now, since tuning into the program, have you found an answer to this?
I have. The answer, surprisingly to me, I was not expecting it, is the program.
Talk to me. You speak on that. What do you mean?
Well, it's like there was an empty hole in my heart. And it just happened to be shaped exactly like the program. And when I started to take this in and I started to put it in, and it felt really good. It just slid right in smoothly. There was no unwanted stretching of any kind.
Sure.
It just fit. And then I felt whole.
Interesting.
And yeah, and so with the program, everything starts to make sense. I remember there was some dumbass on TV who said something about the waves come in, the waves go out. You can't explain that. Well, I think you can with the program. I mean, it just makes sense.
Well, listen, I can tell, right? First of all, Sam, before I even address what you're sharing, I can tell that you are really finding a home here. You're really finding a use here with the program of explorations with Leslie Tanner. It sounds like you really made a splash and you're finding like a fish in the water, so to speak. There's a couple of explorers like that in the chat right now, but you sound like a fish in the water here, really taking to it. And I want you to know that that's special, and I want you to keep working at it. Okay?
Awesome.
Now, the reason I'm saying this, just like this right now, Sam, though, is that the reason you're having a good time and finding success and some momentum and whatnot. The reason I'm being encouraging is because it's hard to predict the future. But if I had to, gun to head, predict what's coming for you, Sam, as far as your interaction with this program, is that it will get difficult. Now, at the beginning, Mother Nipple Bottom, beautiful. I can't wait to get this perspective. Mother Nipple Bottom, thanks so much. The program helps me complete the crossword every day in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Wow. Thank you so much, Mother Nipple Bottom. I appreciate you sharing that testimonial with us tonight. Namaste. Great to see you, by the way, Mother Nipple Bottom. Great to see you in chat. Now, Sam.
Yes.
What happens frequently, people's journeys with the program, there's a honeymoon period very often. There's a period where, they're looking for answers. When I hear that you're looking for answers, what I hear is I'm looking to ultimately, I want to reduce whatever shape it's in. I want to reduce my suffering. I want to take the dissonance, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, something. I need something. I need something to resolve. I need something to just turn the volume down a little bit, for fuck's sake, please.
Oh, yeah.
And there are many stories like that, and my heart truly goes out to each and every single one of them. People who come here looking for a similar situation, right? They're looking for something to make their life better. Now, once you get into the program, Sam, you'll find that I make no such promise. This idea of better. I never use this word because it creates a defense. It creates a blockage. A blockage against what? A blockage against reality as it is. Now, I'm glad that you're suffering less as a person who cares about you, but your life might suck. And the more that comes into view, the more you really chew on it, the more you realize how bad your life has been. It wouldn't make sense either for me to give you a program that that obscures that, but it wouldn't make sense for you to feel good about it. You hear what I'm saying?
I think I do. Yeah.
Onion plug. I've slowly, over time, been adding mifepristone to my town's public water supply. Also, caller, how you be sniffing that creamy froth from your hatchet wound?
Well, I usually do it with my nose, man.
Very direct, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm being literal. I want to be literal.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah. Don't mess around.
I want to be literally raw and naked with chat.
I can feel that. I can feel that. And listen, this raw nakedness, it feels good right now. It's going to feel bad soon, but I want you to stick to it because that's when you're doing the real work. All right. Any Tom, Dick, or Harry can step up to the program and do it when it feels good. All right. Because it feels good to feel good. When it starts to feel bad, now that is the work. That is where the program truly gets to work in your life. And I want you to stick through it, okay? You talk to me. You call me up and you talk to me about it, Sam.
I will. I promise.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Sam, and listen, I'm sure we have a lot of lurkers right now. And I, first of all, I love them. I love the lurkers. I absolutely, if I know there's a lot of the same usernames I see all the time. They don't say a damn thing every night. And I love it. I really appreciate it. It adds a very unpredictable ambiance coming from that back wall. You ever been to a club and that back wall is kind of obscured, smells a little bit? They're just kind of bobbing their head and just there's an odor. Mother Nipplebottom with a quick communal vision from Mother Nipplebottom. Help, what do I do if my baseline is always low?
Wow.
Go ahead. You sounded inspired.
That is a deep question, Mother Nipplebottom.
Mother Nipplebottom's not a shallow figure here. Mother Nipplebottom is a strong explorer. Cooker Pie with 10 community subs. Holy freaking moly, namaste. Cooker Pie, generous beyond generosity tonight. Thank you so much. If you are receiving a gifted sub from Cooker Pie right now, let's see some namastes in the chat. Let's see some namastes in the chat for Cooker Pie, 10 community subs. Namaste. Wow. Okay, now go ahead. Baseline, low. Respond.
From what I can see, with what I have learned in my short time here, and I will admit I'm new. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when you start off, when you're always low like that, the really great thing that the program teaches you is that it's not that hard to get a little bit higher because you're already so low. How does that land?
Yeah, you're new. It's all right. That was all. Okay, that was a good one. That was a good try. That was you said that you've come here raw and naked, and that's exactly what you've done. And sometimes your penis looks weird, and you didn't know, and you got to know that because then we can talk about it next time. Okay?
Right. And it's the whole is
Exactly. So it was the baseline being low, Mother Nipplebottom coming at a place. Now Mother Nipplebottom likes to do this kind of two-step thing. Mother Nipplebottom, listen, you gotta keep that baseline low. That's very powerful. All right? Based on the stuff that you've shared here at Explorations, Mother Nipplebottom, you keep that baseline low. It should not be high. That should not be high. Well, listen, Sam, I really appreciate you being so generous with your time tonight. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the chat before we move on?
Just that I look forward to one of those, the next dating night, because I want to find out if I'm worthy of love.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, let's get you on infatuation, Sam. Let's get you. I can tell you're gonna do. I think you have a chance to do well. You have a chance to do well. Let's just say that.
I got that. We'll roll that roulette wheel.
Please, brother. I can't wait.
Thank you, Leslie.
All right. Namaste, Sam.
Namaste.
Wow. Now you're going to see more of that guy. You're going to see more of the Sam guy. He's got something. He's got a skip in his step. Barbara Loden, namaste to you. Caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What is something I can call you?
You can call me David.
David. Great to hear from you, David. Well, listen, real quick. Mother Nibblom, seriously, I was happier when I drank. Yeah, that's because drinking makes you feel good. 100%. And you don't ever let that truth get away from you too far. All right? Don't turn into one of these people, oh, I've transformed my life. I'm so much happier. Yeah, right. Now, caller, David, it's great to hear from you. Is this your first time calling, David?
No, I called once before a few months ago.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome back to the program, David. It's great to have you. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's great to be here.
Wonderful. Well, David, tonight we're exploring the weekend, David. Talk to me. When I say those words to you, the weekend, what comes to mind? What fills your heart?
You know, I'm filled with a little bit of dread. Because, like, during the week, I have all these things that I have to do all the time. You know, I go to work and I go to the gym and I do all that stuff. And then in the weekend, I don't have anything to do. I'm sort of paralyzed by the choice.
Wow. So listen, this is exactly what I had. This perspective that David's sharing right now is exactly one that I had in my mind when I was doing my preliminary notes for the night. When I was doing my preliminary notes and I was doing my meditations for tonight's exploration, I was thinking, what's the flip side of this, right? We're all looking forward to the weekend. Not all of us. Why? What's the difference between the weekend and weekday? Structure. Who loves structure? Some people. David loves structure. David, without that structure, talk to me about the feelings that you feel, right? You it seemed like overwhelmed, but continue. Use some feelings words on this.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, whatever I'm going to do is not going to be right, and it's going to make me very sad. I'm going to look back on it and have this dread on Sunday night, or even weeks, months, years from now, that this time wasn't well spent, because it's the only time you really have on the weekend. So it feels like it's amounting to nothing.
Wow. Now that's something. Now, you know, some people might say, and this is because, first of all, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, I guarantee you are not the only person in the chat who thinks and feels this. I guarantee it. But the only difference being you're the one brave enough to call up on Explorations and say it out loud. So I want to thank you for that, firstly.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I've been looking into therapy, but I don't. I thought, you know,
that you're not going
to switch for free.
You're not going to find any answers there anyway, to be honest with you.
So far.
Actually, they stand to do a lot of damage to you in terms of this. Now, okay, so let's think about this. So the weekend, you know, what's conventionally speaking, the weekend, right, is supposed to be leisure time, which is like, you know, a lot of people would characterize leisure time as, you know, frivolous, as, you know, designated to kind of be wasted, so to speak, right? To do a hobby without, you know, pursuing a career, or to go on little trips merely for the sake of enjoyment. And what I hear is that this time that is supposed to be really, you know, nothing in itself, right? Not going anywhere, not accomplishing anything necessarily. That the nothing, you're afraid, isn't going to be nothing enough. And it's not. And it's ruining your life, because you said you're afraid of getting to Sunday and having that dread. Now tell me, do you get to Sunday and feel that dread every Sunday?
When I get to Sunday, I feel a little bit of regret, not as much as I anticipate, but I just feel this like shock and this fear of like, oh, it's already over. That was the only chance I have. It's like when you're a kid and you're doing a talent show or something, and it's like you're working and working. They're like, all right, get on the stage and do your thing, and that's the weekend. And you get there and you're on the stage and you try your best, and then it's over, and you're just like shaking in the back room, pissing yourself, and you're just like, I don't think I did a good job.
Yeah, you didn't. You didn't. So first of all, I want to take a second, that little boy that's inside of that little David. I want to take a second for that little David that he's shaking. This doing nothing has been turned into a talent show for little David. And he is fucking it up. So I want you to go ahead and look at that little David. You take a second, say, "Hey, little David, come here. Take a seat on my lap. You are fucking up." Try that. Give that a try.
Okay, David, you are fucking up.
And how did he react?
He just looks shocked, like he needed to be told that because no one's been brave enough to say it to him.
All right, is he crying yet?
He's crying, yeah.
Good. Okay, good. So let's put that aside. He should be crying. He should be feeling bad. Now, let's go ahead and jump forward in time. Now that we've got him crying, this little David, who's made a performance out of nothing, who's this, has such a hole inside of him that he's taken, what is supposed to be thrown away time and made it, he's just kind of beating the shit out of himself with it. It's good that he's crying. And now what you're going to feel over the next couple of days is a very slow sort of transformation in a negative way. You're going to be realizing a lot of things about you, about current David, that are not good enough. And I want you to follow that, because that's ultimately, I know I use this phrase a lot, but that is the path of the next level, David.
I got to find him and let him cry and then feel it in myself.
Well, you're just going to feel it. I mean, we've already got the cry thing going. If you ever hear him not crying, you find that little David, you find that little guy, and you say, "Hey, get on my lap." Say, "It's going to be different this time." And then you really drill it. You trick him to get close to you, and then you hurt him. Make him cry, because he wants to cry. He needs to cry. And then you're going to find your life getting worse, and that's when you know that this program is finally working.
Okay, and then what do I do?
Exactly. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. How about?
Okay.
One step at a time. But this would be considered the first tenet of the program, relaxing, right? We're allowing this inner child to relax. And we will relax into a lot of displeasure, a lot of discomfort, and we will unlock a power inside of you, David, that you've only ever dreamed of.
I can't wait.
It's coming. You can't even stop it. David. Well, listen, keep us abreast of the developments with this little child. You might have to trick him into crying. You might, I've got a treat for you, or maybe we'll go miniature golfing, and then you really just find new ways to hurt them and make them cry.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get like an ice cream cone and say, "Get over here, little David." I'm gonna punch him in the fucking face.
Yeah, throw the ice cream cone at the wall, let it drip down the wall, and just start screaming. And like maybe punch him, but then once you punch him once, every time you cock your fist back, it'll be like so scary. You might not even need to hit him.
Yeah, I can just.
This is going to transform your life. You're not going to believe the progress you're about to make. Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to beating the shit out of that kid.
Namaste. Beautiful stuff. Well, David, anything else before we move on tonight? I feel like this has been a really terrific call.
I think I have a lot to work on here. I'm just going to go practice my hooks.
Yep. Get to work. Maybe you'll finally not fuck up a weekend.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. I can't wait to hit that kid.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, namaste to you, David. You could give us a call back with some updates, all right?
I'll do that. I'm going to go fuck him up.
Namaste, brother. Namaste. Great. Caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What is something that I can call you tonight?
Amelia,
welcome back to the program, hon. How you doing tonight?
Hey, nice to see you. Tonight I've been going through some dental pain, so that's kind of sucks.
Dental pain. Oh, dental pain's the worst.
It's really fucking bad.
What's the point? What's the cause? What do you got going on?
Well, I've got 2 teeth that need root canals. One is infected. No one that my insurance has given me the number of it. Either actually takes my insurance or is willing to do it. So I'm feeling pretty fucked. I can't sleep because of the pain. It hurts to eat. It hurts to drink. It's not going good, Guru.
Is it infected? We got some infections going on.
Oh yeah. One
Oh
of them is
Lord!
infected. Yeah, that's the rough one.
Oh yeah, that sucks. That is some of the worst pain.
Yeah.
That is some of the worst pain.
It's like if I eat during the day, then I can't sleep because of the pain that the tooth causes.
Yeah,
I can't drink on that side of my mouth anymore.
Yeah. Are you sipping broth or smoothies or anything like that?
No, I'm just doing water. I'm just making sure to pocket it. I usually exclusively chew with the right side of my mouth. I've never chewed with the left side or done anything there. So all my root canal shit is on the right side. So I'm just making sure to pocket all the water on the left side.
Okay. Well, yeah, it sounds like your life is not good right now.
Yeah, no, it never has been. You know that.
I know. Well, especially now, right now, especially you got this poor people insurance. They're giving you the runaround. They don't take it anywhere. And then that level of misery, it's such a, it really puts you in your place.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. And being told no by everywhere, and the insurance just saying we can't do anything for you. You just have to live with the pain. You get fucked. It's very humbling.
Exactly. You go to the places that are supposed to help, and they refuse. You find that you're
100%.
Yeah, you're just a fraction that keeps getting carried into nowhere. Namaste, Pepperoncini. You can get antibiotics from urgent care if the dentist is being lame, says Pepperoncini.
I got antibiotics. But that hasn't really made the pain go any less, and I still need the 2 root canals. So.
Aaron, namaste. Aaron of Legend Blessings and namaste. Welcome to the program. Well, so let's go ahead and dive into the theme tonight. So we've set the stage for Amelia having a very unpleasant, very painful time right now, but still finding a way to find that energy to call the program and explore. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. Now, Amelia, right now we're talking about the weekend. So on top of this, you're unemployed. You don't have a job. And so what does the weekend even mean to you?
Well, first I'll say I do love The Weeknd, the music artist. Great music. Great stuff.
Okay, interesting. New angle, The Weeknd music artist. You enjoy his music.
Yeah, it's great stuff. His new album, Hurry Up Tomorrow, definitely his best album.
Sure.
Really great shit on there. Dawn FM, amazing album. Better than After Hours. But The Weeknd itself as a week concept, days kind of have long since lost their meaning for me. I guess you could say I'm in some sort of eternal weekend.
Interesting. So then you're an eternal weekend, and so that's the thing about when you get all of one thing, it kind of ceases to exist sometimes. So tell me, Amelia, do you find yourself in an eternal weekend? Do you actually feel connected to a weekend in the way that it's commonly discussed?
No way. No, not at all. The days they just go by. I don't know what day it is half the time, except, I know I got therapy on Tuesday and Thursday, I think. But otherwise, it's just Saturday, Sunday. Saturday has no difference than a Wednesday. There's nothing special happening. There's no kind of pillar or rock for the week to be bedded on. So then it all just flows into each other. And it's been like that. It's been years, just day after day, months don't mean anything. What's a year anymore?
Right, and there's no external markers for the passage of time, both in the short and long term. So one thing you've got the seasonal changes, the day, week, month changes, the seasonal changes, the year changes. But then you also got, we're getting into pretty significant chunks of your life, right? These rites of passage that you are simply not experiencing.
Yeah, and like seasonal changes, like I don't notice. Like I'm not outside. My windows blocked. My curtains are closed.
Yeah.
Years, I like maybe I'll do something for New Year's, as in like I'll go on a VR chat alone and just be really sad and watch like the VR chat New Year's World, the countdown, and I'll be like, oh fuck, another year wasted. I really need to do it this year, and then Alt F4, and then the years go on. Some days, I just look at the data, I'm just like, wow, wait, what the fuck? I had zero perception of when it was within the year, what year it was. Where am I? What's happening?
Beautiful. Amelia, now, listen, a lot of people are listening to you talk about this right now, and they're looking at me, Leslie. They're waiting to say, okay, well, Leslie is for sure is going to say something, that'll help, right? Something that'll provide guidance, something that will alleviate suffering. First of all, why would I do that? Right, we are in the moistest tilled soil for this program to work. I would never take that away. I would never take away any aspect of what she just told us about. Okay, so this dissociation that you have from increasing dissociation from a lot of aspects of what people would consider shared reality. This is unpleasant and this is bad. But what you are discovering, or how you exist against a reality that is freed from these frivolous things that barely existed in the first place. A weekend, a weekday. These are things that the tide can come in and come out, wash away in the sands of time. And you are just raw dogging just the raw experiential experience of time.
100%. It's like, our forefathers, tens of thousands of years ago, before they, invented putting some sand in an hourglass or something, the days and nights, they just kind of went, I'd say if anything, they had a bit more tether.
I was going to say.
On their end, because I don't notice when day changes to night most of the time, right?
Well, I would say it's worse for two reasons. One, none of them had any of that shit. They were all just kind of retarded animals running around sucking sap out of leaves. Now, but in your case, you're surrounded by a society of people who truly believe in the weekend, who believe in leisure, who believe in all these things. And you, lonely, you and some other people that experience it the way you do, not very many, but the loneliness there is really is a whole other aspect to this. And then on top of that, some of the worst tooth pain you could imagine on top of that.
Oh yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, there's a ton of shit on top of it. We've gone into a lot of meaty topics about my life throughout our calls.
It's not
here.
good. It's not good.
I would say my room sort of feels like an alternate dimension almost. It does feel like it exists in sort of a separate space-time as the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I don't really feel connected to a collective or shared reality.
Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's going to get better, because it might not, right? This might be it.
100%. No, yeah, definitely.
But one thing that I will tell you, and this is not, let me be clear about this. This is not designed to make you feel better. But one thing that will happen is that this will change. And you will have this knowledge of misery and raw experience and that will set you apart from all of the people. You will emerge from this other dimension. Mother Nipple Bottom, imagine dental chat GPT with all the advice for self-extractions. Save a fortune. You would never have to leave your room. Then it is reality.
Sounds pretty interesting. I'd be curious about a dental chat GPT.
I love that.
I'd be curious to see what it says.
Yeah, I love that.
If it could just do it for me. If it's gonna tell me how to do it with a pen.
Ballpoint pen. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't got much in this room, in terms of equipment for that. But, and I will say, I think that this is also almost an important reminder to those who crave the weekend and wait for the weekend on what it's kind of like on the other side of the lack of distinction.
My goodness gracious!
An eternal weekend.
Now that's a Black Mirror episode. You know, we're talking about the weekend moving around the week, which is hilarious at first. Then we're talking about the weekend moving around every single week, and then it was sci-fi, and now we're talking about the weekend sort of bleeding and eradicating any borders between the weekday and the weekend, and that's the reality you live every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I do think I often serve as a reminder to other people of, like, it can always get worse.
That's true. That's true. That's absolutely true. Look at that. Very wise indeed, Amelia. Now, listen, on a personal level, you know, I hope you get these teeth taken care of. That sounds like shit.
Oh, yeah.
But on a spiritual level, I kind of hope that you don't get them fixed. I hope that it gets worse. If that makes sense.
What do you think that would do for me?
What was that?
What do you think that would do for me?
If it got worse?
Yeah.
Oh, the knowledge of things getting worse is I won't go as far as to say valuable, but it is the grounds of which we will unlock the power of the next level here at Explorations. Your knowledge of experience beyond the veil is very important, very, you know, in a way kind of valuable, I suppose, but you'd have to really sort of twist that word around to get it to mean what I want. But so listen, it will change, but good luck with this shitty poor person insurance. You know, they're just gonna be
Medicaid. I'm on Medicaid.
They're just gonna be fucking playing with you. Yeah, Medicaid's it's only getting worse.
Yeah. I mean, I live in a good state for all things considered, you know, for government programs and stuff. But even then, which just show you how much worse it would be, like, if I lived in, like, fucking Texas or something. You know, I call my insurance, I called literally everyone you gave me. This is an emergency, I need this done. What can we do? And they're like, we told you what we can do. You know, good luck. You know, have fun.
Damn.
So I'm kind of left to dry.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like that sounds so painful, and also just psychologically, just like you were taking so much psychic damage right now, and
Oh yeah.
losing HP by the second.
I don't know if you'd believe me that, you know, I've been feeling a little hopeful recently until this came in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, kind of crashing things. You know, I felt like I was, you know, getting somewhere with some things, you know, that maybe things are going to look better in the future. And this is kind of like a physical reminder that it's not going to get better. Things are bad. That's invaluable.
Cougar Pie, can you find a dentist that offers a payment plan?
Dude, I got no money. It's like, I'd be going into debt, and then, like, the debt collectors would be on my ass. Like, I have no income.
Yeah,
I got,
just
like,
lie.
zero savings. They'd kill me. I have to go to, like, a loan shark. They'd take it off my fingers.
Well, listen, wow. Well, listen, namaste. I think this sounds like shit, but this is also very fertile ground for your growth here at Explorations with Leslie Tanner. And I appreciate you being so generous and vulnerable with us tonight, Amelia.
Of course. It's my pleasure. You know, it's my hope to explore myself and help others explore me.
Now, from your perspective, I won't say at the bottom of a hill, because you're sort of like floating around the hill, right? You're like you said, another dimension. You're dissociated from many aspects of reality in your miserable life. Now, talk to me. Send a little message from your little weird little fourth dimension of misery to everyone in chat right now.
Oh, that's interesting. What do I want to say to you guys? I guess that it can always get worse. You guys, you know, you can always kind of, I think, hold your heads a bit high, and at least you aren't sort of, I feel like stuck in this almost like purgatorial dimension. That's sort of like, be careful what you wish for. Sort of relating back to the concept of an eternal weekend. You know, it might sound nice on the offset, like, oh, the weekend is what we all look forward to. Or like, I think I've seen Mish say that she wants to be a NEET. And, you know, it's like, sure, like, oh, not having a job, fun, frolicking, out in, like, you know, the fucking flower garden, like the trad wives on TikTok or whatever. But, you know, in reality, being completely estranged from sort of the conceptual pillars of existence itself is a very, like, disassociative and almost, I would say, cosmically horrifying experience. But that I hope you guys can sort of look within the abyss, and as I look back within you, we can find something, some feeling or some thought or some exploration to exchange with each other.
I'm not going to add anything to that. I'm leaving it right there. Amelia, thank you so much for everything you've given us tonight.
Namaste.
On personal level, good luck, but spiritually, I hope it gets worse. Namaste.
100%. Oh, yeah, and the weekend's best song is Less Than Zero from Dawn FM.
Okay. Well, I don't know what that sounds like, but I'll take your word for it.
Look it up later.
Okay, I'll look it up later. Or put it in the Discord if you
I
remember.
feel like it could be your vibe. It's like the weekend and Dawn FM especially. It's sort of like a formatted like a old radio channel.
I love tapping my foot. You know me. So I can't wait to experience it.
Namaste.
Namaste. A real quick affirmation for these. Listen, you probably don't have very good medical insurance. Somebody mentioned in chat the dental college.
I've called up a few dental colleges. I haven't had any luck so far. There's some places I've left a voicemail with, and they haven't called me back yet. So I'm going to keep trying to call them.
Beautiful. Well, listen, if you got to pull them out, just pull them out.
If anyone wants to pull my teeth out for me, you know, DM me. I'm on the Discord. You know, wants to fuck around with my mouth. By doing a root canal, that is. I would appreciate that.
Well, you know, we get you messed up enough. Maybe we can just kind of explore.
Yeah. See the results of that. I think that'd be interesting.
Communal vision from Phil Z74. I got hit by an old lady, and I was like, "Yo, thanks for the support."
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. Appreciate that. Namaste. Well, namaste to you, Amelia. You know, hopefully you find some Tylenol or ibuprofen or something. All right.
I have been, and it hasn't helped. Thank you, though.
Namaste. Namaste. Wow. Let's see. I'm going to redo that affirmation for these. They deserve better than that. You can go hiking in any shoes. You don't need hiking boots. Consider Payless Shoe Source for your hiking needs. Philzy 74, namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you, Phil. Philzy 74. 708-240-8953. 708-240-8953. Is Payless really dead? I did not know that. Is Payless really dead? Oh. This is the worst news I've received in a very long time. Payless Shoe Source. Dead. Ah!
If I played professional football, I'd just be the strongest and fastest person on the field and win every single game.
R.I.P. Payless. R.I.P. Payless. Namaste. Caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What is something I can call you tonight? Phil, you sound like you're entering or exiting the Matrix right now. Ooh, you sound a little broken up. I can barely hear you, brother. What? No, yeah, it's just a bunch of garbled digital auto-tuned noise. One second. Okay, try again. Cooker pot. Oh no, that was. I just got an old alert. Never mind. Great. Azazel55, thank you so much for that single bit. Phil, try again. Caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What's something I can call you tonight? Caller, are you there? I still cannot hear you, Phil.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, listen, how about this, Phil? I got to take a piss. I can't hear you. Okay, I got to pee. It's pee break time, guys. I got to take a piss. We'll be back with the second half of tonight's Explorations with Leslie Tanner after a brief break. Stick around for a couple words about my community of devoted light at patreon.com. For a couple dollars, you too can join my inner circle and avail yourself to an exclusive library of program materials designed specifically to fast track your progress here at the most effective personal power program in the country. For a couple dollars a month, you too can be a part of this very exciting group with whom I share my most intimate thoughts, the raw seedlings of the program as its birth, and about a million other things to boot. Well, namaste, everybody. I'll be back in just a moment after I urinate, and we will explore the second half of tonight's Explorations with Leslie Tanner.
Explorations with Leslie Tanner. Since Leslie and his program broke onto the scene, Explorations has become the #1 best-selling and most influential personal power program in modern history. Millions of people from all over the world have gotten a chance to meet this truly remarkable man and utterly transform their lives with the power of Explorations.
I listened to this introductory tape and I knew then and there, this is what I needed. I felt just so much better knowing there are a bunch of people out there suffering like me.
I'm not kidding you. I think after the first tape, I knew, okay, I'm gonna be fine.
I got such relief from the very beginning, starting the program.
Now that you've gotten a taste of what this program is capable of, it's time to show you how to take your life to the next level. Here to tell you more about what is possible is legally licensed clinical therapist, author, coach, speaker, entrepreneur, martial artist, amateur musician, one of the nation's foremost thinkers, and our guru, Leslie Tanner.
Good evening, everyone. Whether you've been with us since the very beginning and have watched explorations work wonders in your life, or you're joining us for the first time tonight, I say namaste to you. As you've watched explorations in action during our call-in show, no doubt your mind is reeling from the limitless potential you now know is possible. Between the tailored themes and lectures, to the myriad avenues of exploration through the channel points, to the customized ways to interact with me and the community, there simply has never been anything quite like this program. Now is usually the point in one of these self-help programs where it starts to sound like a sales pitch. Someone like me might normally say something like, "Listen, I know your time is precious. Let me cut to the chase." But there's only one problem with that. We know your time isn't precious. I could speak at length for hours and hours about absolutely nothing, and I still wouldn't be wasting your time because, well, you're here, looking for a fast, all-encompassing solution to the problems in your life that have become so intolerable, you're not sure what you're going to do. You may be considering any number of extreme decisions, ranging from short-term band-aids to more permanent solutions. However, as dark and bleak as your situation is, so too must our tools be bright and revolutionary. So whether you're tired and looking for more energy and enthusiasm for life, or maybe you're lonely and isolated but want better relationships, let me tell you that for these things and so much more, my breakthrough program of explorations to explore the universe and beyond really works. It's worked for elite performance athletes, critically acclaimed artists, best-selling authors, entrepreneurs, and for thousands of others just like you. I have been blessed by the universe for a brief moment that I now command upwards of $50,000 for speaking engagements. But through the technology of this program, you can hire me, Leslie Tanner, as your personal therapist, coach, and guru, all rolled into one at the Community of Devoted Light on Patreon.com. Where you and thousands of others just like you are learning to leverage the chaos around them to catapult their lives to heights that were previously unimaginable. Here's how it works. I've created a tightly knit community where individuals seeking to access the next level are able to study, reflect, meditate, and grow with an ever-expanding library of exclusive materials, each containing life-changing tools and techniques designed to explore topics covered here in our call-in show, but much more deeply, therefore increasing the benefits of the program exponentially. These materials include your name in the credits at the end of the stream, demonstrating the importance of your leadership and the value of your investment. A signed personal postcard sent out each month full of observations and witticisms by me, Leslie Tanner. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Exclusive video materials now available to the poor, designed to rocket your progress past those who cannot afford success. Here's a little sneak peek at what you're missing. Downloads of all specially crafted music used in our productions here and elsewhere that have accompanied your journey thus far. Tracks such as New Beginnings, Psychic Romance, Reaching into Darkness, or The Skeptic's Gamble. exclusive archival prints, such as these, channeled and honed by myself, Leslie Tanner, upon which you can guide your own meditations at home. I'm not an artist, nor do I claim to be. These visions are a burden and cause me immense suffering. But I do it for you. Now, you might expect that a program like this would cost thousands of dollars, but because I'm offering this to you through the internet, these life-transforming materials can be yours for the monthly cost of a few cups of coffee on your way to work. With access to these materials, regardless of your level of investment, you will also be receiving a complimentary download of our landmark track, The Sojourn Begins, as a thank you. So does this sound good to you? Well, what are you waiting for? If you are ready to join the thousands of others who have already committed to the final journey to access the next level, simply type Final Journey into the chat and you will be guided with further instructions. One thing I can promise you is that however massive your problems are, however abject and humiliating your life has become, I have created something so simple yet so profound in this program, you'll be absolutely flabbergasted by the results. Now, let's get back to the program. Namaste.
Namaste, explorers. Welcome back to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. That was a couple words about my community of devoted light at patreon.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to say that we are sharing some groundbreaking information over there is to, undersell it by a mile. We are on the vanguard of human understanding of the self, the other, and the shared reality between all of us. And we are using this reality, the tools here of the program to access this reality and unlock and unleash a power that, I mean this genuinely, a power that we've only ever dreamed of. A power, a human potential that if I told you some of the things I've seen because of this program, if I could, you would not believe me. You would look at me and say, Leslie, you're joking. Leslie, you're fooling. Leslie, you're messing around. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not joking. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not fooling. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not messing around when it comes to my community of devoted light or my program of Explorations with Leslie Tanner. Namaste, everybody. Welcome back. Tonight we are exploring the weekend. The weekend tonight. Blessings. Second half of the program. Always have a different flavor, but I love that late night energy, right? Don't you guys like it? Don't you like that late night energy? Blessings. Blessings to us. No. Let's go ahead and open up the lines. Let's go ahead and open up the lines and get back to it. 708-240-8953. 708-240-8953. On Explorations with Leslie Tanner, we're exploring the weekend. We've already covered a lot of different angles of the weekend. I got to say, I'm very pleased with our exploration this evening. Very different night than Tuesday. Tuesday it was a historic night, and I meant that. But you guys absolutely dropped the ball. I want everybody that's in chat right now that knows what it was like on Tuesday. I want you to know that was a failure on your part. You failed me. Real quick communal vision caller, one moment. Onion plug. Leslie, this weekend I'm visiting the zoo. I like to make intense, unwavering eye contact with the biggest gorilla. His name's Brian. But it always ends with me being escorted out by security and waking up the next day with pink eye thoughts. Yeah, you're getting drugged. You're getting date drugged. You should go to a hospital and get the kit done or something, because that's not normal. That's not a normal zoo. I don't know if it's even a zoo that you're at. Are you sure that it's a zoo? Because nothing what you just shared is normal. Not a damn thing that you just shared with us is a normal zoo experience. I'm worried about you. Go to the hospital. Caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What's something I can call you tonight? All right, hung up. Well, line is open 708-240-8953. 708-240-8953. Yeah, Blue, you got it. You understood. Tuesday was a disaster though. Caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What's something I can call you tonight?
Well, hello there, Leslie. How you doing this evening? It's Reverend Koss.
Reverend Koss Money, it's great to hear from you. How you doing tonight?
Speaking of the weekend, mine is also a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
That is so silly.
I'm indeed a poor person in a service industry.
Look at that. What are you doing? What's your service job?
I deliver pizzas for the Hut.
You're they don't even have delivery drivers anymore.
Oh, they do in my area, and I get paid shit. But you know what? No stress. I don't have anybody watching my screen saying you didn't move the mouse. So
Nightyear says, that's not a real weekend, you dork.
Well, I mean, technically, the weekend is just Saturday, right? So you got Sunday, which is the start of the calendar week, and then you got Monday through Friday, which is the working week, and the actual weekend is just Saturday. So, I mean, I am a dork. I'm definitely a nerd. Like, I take things very literally sometimes, almost in an autistic sense, but I'm not autistic.
Okay, so let's go ahead. So you're delivering these pizzas, right? Delivering pizzas, Pizza Hut. You said stress-free life, even though your life is worse and you're poor, which implies a certain amount of stress, in and of itself.
No. I don't. I have zero stress. I don't wake up throwing up anymore. I don't have panic attacks. Like, no. Stress is gone. Since taking on this, I make just enough money to be. All my bills are paid. I'm able to afford the small things in life that bring me joy and pleasure.
Philzy 74 with a communal vision. Ever want to shape the pizza in the shape of a weenus?
Nope. I just deliver the food. I don't touch or manipulate the food or prepare the food.
And we got another communal vision from Stone Monster 400. Stone Monster 400 saying, it's okay, caller. We know you're not hanging out with Jabba the Hutt all the time. It's okay to be crazy. That is what the show is for.
Oh, my craziness just is I'm very antisocial. Like, I don't really enjoy being around people, near people, in large crowds, small groups. Like, one-on-one is about it, and then occasionally with chat I can pop in and pop out. My insanity is the fact that I really just disdain meat space.
Why is that? What happens when you're around people then, huh?
I feel disgusting.
Disgusting. Talk to me. I want to hear more about that. Disgusting.
Yeah, no, I haven't had a cold, the flu, or any other type of virus or infection or anything.
So it's like a germs thing a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Since I've gone no contact, I don't. Yeah, no I might give a fist bump, but I'm immediately washing my hands afterwards. Like, my dream is to someday have, I would love to be a part of the compound, but give me a section that's no closer than 2 miles.
Phil Z74 with another communal vision for you. Do you use pizza as deodorant?
No, I deliver food or I'll eat the food. Using pizza as deodorant sounds very counterproductive to just the natural order of things.
Do you eat a lot of pizza? Do you eat a fair amount of pizza?
Free food is free food, and it always tastes better.
Framweyard says, have you ever punched a hole in the bottom of the pizza box and put your penis through it to attempt to drop dick off?
No. I'm not, no. Again, that would just inspire people to want to look at and or touch me, and I'm not about that life.
Communal vision from Nightyear. Hey, caller, you should maybe DoorDash instead of being fucking lazy, buddy. I bet you smell like yeast, and it's not the kitchen, buddy.
Nah, I smell like Febreze and Axe deodorant.
So poor.
Yeah, extremely. And I'm okay with being poor. I don't really want to.
So tell me, what you alluded a little bit. You alluded to panic attacks and throwing up. So was there something that you were up to, maybe before this Pizza Hut thing, where you were doing these things, having panic attacks and throwing up?
Every day I would wake up, and the first thing that would happen is I would get dizzy, and then I would vomit for almost a year and a half. I lost a lot of weight. That was kind of nice.
So what were you doing? Like, what was causing you these panic attacks and whatnot?
A high stress customer service position. It just it was not a good place for me. Like, it started off awesome because it was third shift, work from home, pretty fucking laid back, right? You get maybe like 3 calls a night and answer a couple emails. But then corporate got involved, and we got new leaders, and they're all like, "We want you to be ultra productive," and so you couldn't even like. If you weren't literally moving your mouse, they would email you or send you a message, be like, "Hey, we noticed you haven't done anything for 2 minutes. Are you still there?" Like, it was. Ugh.
Night, you're with the communal vision. Axe deodorant is for people who wear tap-out shirts still and tell their wives that they need to, quote, mind their own fucking business when the game is on. How many times do you wear the same shirt and gym shorts combo?
That's an interesting question. One, I don't know gym shorts. That just sounds like somebody who goes to the gym and wears it. And the shirt I'm wearing is actually, I'm wearing the Juiced Up from Dark Magic shirt from Vaughn's Evil Lair. If you're familiar with him and his stream.
Whose stream?
Vaughn's Evil Lair.
I am not. Tell me about it.
He makes music and plays games, and he's generally a pretty chill dude.
Communal vision real quick from PhilZ74. Ever puke in a cup and then hide it? Me neither.
And Phil Z answered his own question right there. Yeah, I'll go with I have not. But the weekend. So the weekends for me, I take that as the time away from work, right? Not necessarily the day of week, but that's the time away.
Right. And you have one of those funny weekends like we were laughing about earlier.
Yes. Somebody in chat had mentioned it, and I think I mentioned it too, but I'm like, if he doesn't notice or nobody knows, it's fine. I'm driving around anyways delivering pizzas. I have more important things to do than look at my phone at the moment, right? Which is, concentrate on the road. But yeah, no.
Talk to me about this weekend. What do you do during the weekend? What's a weekend usually look like for you? Now, if you feel filthy around people, you don't like to be touched, they stress you out. I know that like if you're being watched, it makes you want to throw up.
Not just watched, like it was bad. So any position or job, like think of a micromanager and then add like they probably had kids that they couldn't control, and so they're taking out any little bit of like, oh God, what was the name of that lady who wore pink in that stupid Harry Potter book film series or whatever, Mrs. whatever.
Mrs. Yeah, she's evil. That little stout lady.
Yeah, it was the one with all the pictures of cats. Yeah, that was my my supervisor at work.
Yeah.
It just got bad. It went from like everything's chill to everything's like, nope. And so it started stressing me out. And then I'm like, man, I'm going to lose all these benefits of my job. And then you know what? It happened. And it happened while I was on the program. And this ties into my weekend and what you were talking about earlier. What does people do on like if you're working a service job? I specifically requested Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off so that I could catch the program.
I'm
not
so proud
even
of you.
kidding.
I'm so proud of you. It all costs money. Guys, if you're looking for how to put the program into place in your life, I get this question a lot. I'm new here. How do I make it work for me? Look at what he just said. He requested days off so that he could see and watch and absorb the program itself. Wow.
Tuesdays and Thursdays specifically. So when I see those messages and then you not apologizing for whatever reason, like my nights feel even more wasted, and I cannot thank you enough for that because it just
absolutely. PhilZ74
really isn't worth anything.
Says
right?
boner alert. PhilZ74 boner alert from PhilZ74. I don't know if it's just like that's what he says when he's thinking about getting a boner, or he senses someone else has a boner or something. I'm not sure about that. But
I think that's also a pop-up in the Christ United Mission Church.
Oh, boner alert?
Yeah, I think that's one of the redeems in his channel.
Oh, it's a little crass, isn't it? Wouldn't you say?
Oh, extremely, extremely, and it's one of the reasons I enjoy Pastor Phil and Pastor Lee. I enjoy their streams. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
bring a smile to my face.
Talented young men. Night Year with another communal vision. Night Year with another communal vision. Before we continue, Night Year says, "Did you dream of being a Pizza Hut delivery driver as a kid? Did you draw it in elementary school?"
No, I actually kind of either wanted to be a space person, right? Like an astronaut, an attorney, or an over-the-road truck driver. Like literally, when I remember being a small child, like between 6 and like 15, you know, when reasoning kicked in, and I think those were like the three options I went for. And then of course I was one of those smart kids who just didn't apply themselves, you know, before they realized what ADD and all the appropriate actions to.
Sure, yeah. You were just kind of fucked up and nobody helped you, and your life is now way worse than it would have been. Pepperoncini, Phil Z's boner cannot be visually confirmed. Small penis, gut covers it. So Pepperoncini letting us know that, you know, maybe this is a very useful system to have, the alert system, because otherwise we couldn't see it.
Maybe.
Night Year says, calling an astronaut space person tells me you are right where you need to be, buddy.
I also smoke a lot of pot, and sometimes words fail me, and I couldn't think of the word.
Mm-hmm. Listen, yeah,
I don't disagree.
I don't disagree with that either, but also it's easy for me to imagine, you know, you call up and you say some bright stuff every now and again, and it always contributes a lot, and it's easy for me to imagine you just kind of, you know, a different version of you, much happier and more successful, and less just kind of riddled with what I'm not going to go as far as to call the mental illness, because you found a solution that it doesn't involve therapy and diagnosis, which I think is tremendous.
Right. I've tried, and you're right. Like, they offer nothing. I had my most recent therapist recommended I read a book about emotional banking, and I'm like, isn't that one of the 7 habits? And he's like, well, and I'm like, okay, worthless. Absolutely worthless.
Holy moly. He had you read, first of all, had you read a book. Motherfucker, if I needed to read a book, I can go find I come here to not read a book. Night Year, right. Phil Z has what we like to call a dicky-do. His belly hangs lower than his dicky-do. So just kind of updates about Phil Z's penis and whether it's hard or not, and how big, and whether we can see it. So far, the reports are that his stomach is too large as a fat man, that it covers his penis. So you go to this therapist. He tells you to read something. That's honestly strike 1, 2, and 3 for me. That's hideous. Anytime I've worked with a therapist in training, and it's like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about giving this person this book. I swing on them. I literally physically assault them because it upsets me so much.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'd imagine as somebody in the field, you're able to get away with that. But me as a client, if I ever actually swung on a therapist, I would probably end up in a hospital.
Right. Well, they got all your personal information. Yeah. It's going to be tough to get away with. But yeah, no.
But thank you for providing that in the universe. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'll yeah,
I want therapy, not homework.
Exactly.
Right?
Like if I could read something that's going to fix it, I wouldn't come to therapy. There's that. So there's that. Then the fact that it's 7 habits of highly effective people, this is an intersection of why I tell people not to go to therapy. I tell people to stop going to therapy. Don't go to therapy anymore. Communal vision for Fran Weard. My dick, solid as a bone. Phil's dick, broke like his phone. Oh, he's doing a poem. That was nice.
Interesting.
That was nice. Thank you, Fran. Appreciate that. Really beautiful. Now,
we get that somewhere on like a plaque at the compound?
I would spend about. I would love to give about $10,000 to a municipal park department to get that put on a bench by a.
That's beautiful.
By a trail.
Do you think it's even a 10? I bet you could probably get away with it in some of those small towns for like $500.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I wanted to call in and say, like, my weekend is literally designed to fit the program into it so that I can actually digest. And unlike other community members who say that they watch all of these programs, I do.
I know. We can think of one right now. I'll bet we're thinking of the same one.
Yep. Is it Toaster?
Yep. Well, you've been terminated. Yep. Namaste.
No.
Yep, it was Toaster. Yeah, so Pepperoncini saying, IJ bye. Uh-oh. You know what you just did? Do you have any idea what you just did? Pepperoncini kicking off a you-know-what. Holy moly, let's go. Let's do a little bit of late night, Friday night jazz. Namaste. That's right. Poor, thank you so much for that single bit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Jazz Express. Friday night. Friday night can be a really active night, be a very introspective night. A lot of people think that those two things are two separate things. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that introspection can be active. And that extrospection can be passive. Questions with no answers. The waterfall of tomorrow. Never abating. Namaste. Namaste. Oh, Cooker Pie gifted 10 community subs. 10 community subs from Cooker Pie. Namaste, hun. Cooker Pie coming in with a massive contribution to this program. Namaste to you, Cooker. Holy moly. Bit Wars on a much smaller level. Helping out in a much smaller way. Bet Wars with gifting 1 community sub. So much smaller than what Cooker Pie did. But I thank you for it, brother. I thank you for it. Bit Wars. Shining Star Bit Wars. But I don't thank you as much as I do Cooker Pie, who give 10 community subs. I was a Pawn Scum. Resubbing for the 35th goddamn month. Brother, it's great to have you. Great to see you. Namaste. You're going on hold. Wow. Poor, thank you so much for that single bit. Old Shinobi sharing penis and vagina. Penis and vagina. Bobby X Digital, great to see you. Penis and vagina. Think about that. This next little block of Jazz Express is dedicated to penis and vagina. I want everybody to imagine a penis. Now, erase that penis. Imagine for a moment, if you will, a vagina. Now, erase that. Now, in that mind's eye of yours, dig deep, ladies and gentlemen. Dig deep. I want you to conjure that penis that you had before. I want you to conjure that vagina that you had before. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to do next with that penis and that vagina in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to make them go in and out. In and out. In and out real fast. In and out real fast. Real fast. Faster, 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 faster. Faster, 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 faster. Faster, so fucking fast. Fast, 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 fast. Penis. Going so fast. And the vagina just fucking going fast too. I'm going to say, let's go ahead and get this caller in. Caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What's something I can call you tonight?
Hey, Guru, it's Psyduck. How you doing?
Psyduck, good to hear from you. How you doing tonight, Psyduck?
I'm doing okay. I took the day off because I've got a little bit of the cold, so I've been sleeping most of the day.
Look at that.
But saw that you were live, and I figured I'd call in because I haven't called in for a while. So
No, you haven't. I'm glad you found the time. This cold business, not so normally you work today on a Friday, and you didn't work today. You took a sick day, right?
Yeah, more or less. I told my boss I was quote unquote working from home, but did I take a 3-hour nap around noon? Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. You slut. I love that. Psyduck. Namaste. I love that. Lying. I love that. A lot of people have a problem with lying, and sometimes I do. There was a certain explorer that maybe I'll mention them, maybe I won't. But a certain explorer said that they heard that I was going to be streaming tonight instead of last night, and they said that I had called them to ask for permission because quote Friday night was their night. And I asked for permission from this streamer to be able to stream tonight. I not only have I never done that before in my life, I will never do that ever. So this friend
you don't know
lied.
an explanation to anyone, Guru. So whoever that is, go ahead, please name them so we all know. Who
Toaster.
Wow, we could have guessed.
Yeah, Toaster made up some fantastical tall tale.
That little scamp.
Yeah. Might as well just whittle the little story about jacking that beanstalk. Might as well told a story about Hansel and Gretel getting stuck by the old witch and
That
eating
boy
all a bunch of
loves his
candy or whatever that story goes. He might as well have just said that.
He loves his beans because he's full of them, Guru.
He's full of beans. I love that. Bring that back. Full of beans. You're full of beans. That's good stuff, Psyduck.
It's an oldie but a goodie. Sometimes you got to bring back the old cutting witticisms or whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know.
So Psyduck, listen.
But he did.
Go ahead. You finish that thought.
Oh no! I'm listening. I'm a little bit in I don't think I'm quite in a feverish state, but I had one of those naps where you wake up after 2-3 hours when you meant to sleep for 30-45 minutes and you don't know what day or fucking year it is anymore, and you're kind of borderline hungover. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but haven't really fully woken up still. So, yeah, it's been a day. It's been a day.
Psyduck, talk to me about the weekend. Do you work during the week?
Yes, I have a salaried computer man job. So the good old 9 to 5 with the weekends off. So luckily I will be able to either hopefully sleep through the weekend or, just throw it to the wind and go on some sort of bender and then get more sick than I am and, take some PTO.
So you're a weekend guy. So the weekend means something to you. You work during the week and then you have a normal weekend. We've been talking all night tonight about a weekend being on different days for some people. And that is just one of the, I don't know why I'd never thought of that before. And that is honestly it has been the funniest thing I've heard in a really long time. So the weekend, what I'm trying to get at right now, Psyduck, is the weekend, being that Saturday, Sunday, maybe Friday night if you count it, but Saturday, Sunday. But somebody said, what if the weekend was Monday? Or somebody said, Cosmic Video said I don't know if Cosmic Video is still with us, but saying that their weekend was a Monday and Tuesday. And I had a ball with that. I was tickled to no end. I was really splitting my sides. Then somebody said after that, I think it was Pepperoncini, mentioned, what if the weekend was even further in the week on a Wednesday and Thursday? And that sent me over the edge.
That's crazy talk. That
absolutely sent me over the edge.
Space
Cat Raiders, namaste, Space Cat Raiders. Welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. It's great to have you guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're exploring the weekend. We're exploring the weekend. I know it's Friday night. We're exploring the weekend, but sometimes you got to do it, and it's very important that we do it. Extremely important that we do it. And tonight we're speaking with Psyduck with a gun right now. Psyduck with a gun. Space Cat, namaste. Thank you so much for that, Ray.
So I think that there is maybe some validity in you have, a retail job, whatever else. You have those off hours. The occasional day off during the week, can be nice. You can get some shopping done, some, whatever else. It's maybe not as busy, but I feel like, the weekend is the weekend, and that should be Saturday and Sunday. But
what's that? That classic sci-fi story. They made a movie, at least one movie out of it, where it's like he travels in time and he goes like 10,000 years in the future, and there's these different races of human beings, and one of them lives in the ground.
I don't know what that is, but I believe you.
Does everybody know what I'm talking about? He has a time machine. It looks like a steampunk thing. It's just called the time machine. It's just called the time machine.
Yeah,
so no, but what's that race that's called that's in the ground? Does anybody remember? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm gonna
the Morlocks. There we go. Look at you guys. I love this. Namaste to you, everybody who said Morlocks. I'm looking at Call Me Out, Pepperoncini, and Cooker Pie. Everybody else kind of just saying it after I said it. All right, so you don't count. So, but those three counted. Namaste. So, now the Morlocks. The Morlocks are like the people who have weekends that are not on the weekend. They like crawl out of the ground. They have their disgusting, degenerate time. They're drinking on a Tuesday. They're closing out a Chili's bar on a Tuesday night. And maybe they go to the mall on a Wednesday. They go to the mall on a Wednesday. They get a Cinnabon on a Wednesday. Huh?
I said, who the fuck goes to the mall on a Wednesday?
Psychopaths. Literal serial killers. And pedophiles, probably old people mall walking for sure. Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit lighter of a vibe than the other things we said.
Pokemon scalpers.
Pokemon scalpers.
The lowest of the low of society at a mall at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon.
TV 83 rating. Namaste. Welcome, Raiders. Civic. Oh, my goodness gracious. Can we please do a shout out? We got to do a shout out for Civic. We got to do a shout out for Space Cat. Wow, we are embarrassed with riches right now. Holy frickin' moly. Welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner, the most effective personal power program in the country. This is the program with which we explore the universe both inside and out to unlock and unleash the power within you, a power that you've vaguely sensed that you've possessed all along but have been afraid of. A power that will truly allow you to become a stakeholder in your own destiny. Finally. I just kind of mixed up my words. Oh, that's so funny. Nobody clipped that. That is so funny that I said that like that. Pepper and Cheney gifting a sub to Civic TV. Very generous of you. Civic, you son of a bitch. How are you? It's been too long since I've spoken with Civic TV. I really cherish you. Psyduck, have you ever checked out Civic TV 83 stream?
I have not, but after this, I certainly will.
You gotta. Based on just feeling your vibe out, Psyduck, I'm telling you, you're gonna enjoy yourself over there. He's having a weird sort of. Imagine a little like boutique hole in the wall place that you're like, what's going on in there? And you just never really check it out. But then once you do check it out, you're like, I'm in a wonderland. I'm in a weird guy's little wonderland. That's what it's like.
That's what Twitch is all about, finding people doing cool little stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not these Kai Cenats of the fucking stream that are
Kai
out there
Cenat.
doing whatever God knows what.
We rated Kai Cenat a couple weeks ago.
I remember that.
He was hugely thankful.
I'm sure.
He was hugely thankful, and
I'd going 1,000 miles a minute. I don't know how anybody can read anything in that.
Imagine a figure like that coming into the program. I think that I could really level him up.
I think he would do so much better. I mean, he would instantly go to beyond where he's at now. But imagine a Kai Cenat, Jimmy, Mr. Beast, bringing him back from his ungodly abandon. Just the true definition of a psychopath. You open it up in the dictionary, it's a picture of Mr. Beast. But I feel that there's a lot of power to be, wrangled and massaged that the program could help him with. But I don't. If I'm being so honest, I think he's probably too cowardly to try.
Well, people unfortunately they don't realize how effective this program can be at times of abundance. This can be a very effective program at times of abundance. They always look to a program like this when things aren't going like the way they want it to.
So many of those types think that they're,
Zasir say namaste. Zasir say gifting a sub. Zasir say thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Namaste. Very generous of you, and namaste. Continue, Psyduck.
I was just going to say, so many, those types, they think they're on top of the world, shit can't touch them, and then, a single thing happens.
He literally is, to an extent, right? He is huge. He is hugely successful. It's
I
intoxicating.
don't fucking know. He's one of the most annoying fucking people that I've ever seen on the internet, and also he has going back to the psychopath thing, like just his smile weirds me out, his whole fucking vibe. But I do think that the program could help him with that. But again, he's too much of a coward to even try. I feel like he would try to infiltrate the program and then make it his own, make it some sort of weird fucking game show type scenario, and then what are you even doing?
The program can't be anything other than what it is. The program cannot be anything other than what it is. And
you can't massage it to your will.
No. I would love to work with him. I really, like I said, I think I could work with Kai Cenat. And I've offered, I've tried to get in touch with his team. They're difficult to get a response back, but I think I genuinely think I could level his stuff up. I think there's when I watch his content, really, he's successful for a reason. I see where you're coming from with the criticisms, but you got to give him his due to some extent. At least I feel as if I need to, because he's truly figured something out. But I think,
We're talking about Mr. Beast or Kai or both?
both of them. Mr. Beast would
Okay.
be a different kind of thing to wrangle with, but Kai,
I truly think he's some sort of
spiritually they're different. Spiritually they're different beings.
Sleeper cell agent, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of those influencers, all those big Twitch streamers have. I was just discussing this with my temporary roommate, not Mish. I was just discussing how all of those streamers feel like they were produced by like the algorithm did like an Agent Smith thing and came out of the Matrix. And then you've got like Extra Emily and WizKiff or whatever his name is. Is that his name? Did I say it right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, but they're like
only,
Agent Smiths,
a few of those.
produced by like an HR algorithm or something. Mizkiff. There we go. I call them WizKiff.
I'm not sure if I know. I mean, that's arguably a better name than Mizkiff, but maybe he'll run with that. You know?
Yeah, maybe he could do like a Bizarro, and like where he has like interesting things to say. You could do like April Fools
instead of just random racist or sexist comments. Yeah.
I'm not even that familiar with him. I have no idea. But listen,
neither do I, but I'm sure that's what he's all about.
I'd love to work with him, though. I would. I'd love to work with all these people. That's the thing about that veneer, though. That spiritual veneer is that there is an earthquake begging to happen underneath it, and this program is exactly what they need to take their content to the next level. I would love to work with them. I'd absolutely. So, guys, I don't know if somebody from Kai Cenat's team or WizKiff's team or Extra Emily or any of these people, any of these figures. Listen, I would let them. I would love to work with them. I would do it pro bono for a couple days just to see how it works. Make sure it's a good fit, and then we can discuss after that. But I think I could really, honestly, super honestly, really just bottom of my heart, genuinely, super authentically, just genuinely, deliberately, I am saying this in a genuine way, in a real way, and just being 100% real. I genuinely think I can take your content to the next level. Well, listen, thanks so much, Siduk.
I believe that too.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the support on that, and you echoing me and
parting statement.
Yes.
Kai Cenat had Streamer University. Obviously, it's a big task. All of this other stuff. I think we talk about in the program having the compound ideas. If there was an explorations university, that could change the fucking world, Guru. And I really do believe that. Maybe one day we'll get there. Maybe we don't need to get there. The program, works. Some people don't want to work the program, and those people can fuck right off. But I think it's maybe something to keep in the back pocket. If spreading the word, because the program does work as long as you work the program. And
I think so. I think there's something to that. An Explorations University. I'm going to chew on that. I really appreciate you planting that seed.
All right, Guru.
All
Have
right.
a good night.
Namaste, Siduk. You have yourself a good weekend, too. Hopefully that cold doesn't take you out. Namaste.
Namaste.
Deceitful. Here we go. Leslie Kahn 2026. Let's fucking go, says Deceitful. We'll have to stake out a venue for that. Leslie Kahn 2026. Leslie Kahn 2026. I'd love to take over a Holiday Inn banquet center and just really just focus, really put ourselves, do a whole seminar. We'll go to and we're not going to hit the major cities. We're going to go to Iowa City. We're going to go to Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're going to go anywhere in Nebraska. We're going to go in the middle of the desert, just on the other side of the California border. I'm not going to California. Last time I did a seminar in California, there was a noise musician I think he was going to fight me, but he's, how these people are. They're not, how artists are. You just stared at me a little bit. Denton, Texas. Yes. Psyduck, yes. We're going to be going to Denton, Texas. We're going to be going to Athens, Georgia. They're crazy, but they're like, they're the kind of crazy that's like still upset about their parents getting divorced on some level. You know what I mean? It's not like every once in a while, there are some exceptions to this, but a lot of noise musicians, you know what I mean? Erie, PA, perfect. A strip mall in Normal, Illinois, yes. I love this. Moline, I forgot, how do you pronounce that? Denton can't handle the message. Denton would be fun. Denton would be fun. I'd love to do Denton. Maybe, what are the places called? Haley's? Do you remember Haley's? Is that still around? Or the rubber, what is it? The rubber glove? Or something like that? Moline. Rubber Gloves is, but Haley's is gone. I don't even know how I haven't been there in over a decade. Bit Wars with
I love how the internet empowers everyone to express themselves.
Bits well spent. Namaste, Bit Wars. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. You're welcome, I guess. Blue, I guess you're welcome. So yeah, we should do a seminar. We should do a whole seminar. Quote from Chester Copperpot.
No experts, no answers.
100%. Cougar Pie saying, come to Florida. I would absolutely love to. I'd love to get a little mobile thing and set up some shows. Would you guys come? Would anybody be interested in coming to a live exploration? You know, that Frog, he does his live shows. But if I came within, a distance of your home, would you come to a live one? We're in I'm from Florida. I've never been to. Well, no, I've been to Florida. I just haven't ever. I guess I was in marching band. I was in marching band and we did a parade in Disney World in high school. Okay, people are saying. Okay, you're saying yes. Okay, you would yes. Beautiful. Okay, 110%. Oh man, if we was alive, man, I haven't heard a real life reaction from a group of people in
Running
years.
people over should be a misdemeanor if you're on CBD.
Tallahassee, Duncan. By the way, congratulations to Duncan for winning our last Infatuations with Leslie Tanner. Duncan, do you want a VHS tape or do you want a print? What's your price? I'll pay $1 million. It's mainly, I'd have to get like a mobile streaming setup, I think, is the deal. Because we'll have to do streams. And the setup already is kind of a little intense. Print sounds nice. You got it, Duncan. Have you received a print yet, Duncan? I'll send you one that you don't have. I have a handful of prints. You bet, poor. Hop on. Open for Connor O'Malley. I'd love to work with Connor O'Malley. I think he's very talented. I think he's very funny and talented. Does anybody know Connor O'Malley? Caller, welcome to Explorations with Leslie Tanner. My name is Leslie. What's something I can call you tonight?
Yeah, you can call me David. I called a few hours ago.
David, welcome back to the program. What can I do for you?
It's great to be here. I just had some more reflections on the theme of the weekend since I last talked to you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm living my life sort of in reverse, you know, like I always hear people talk about Sunday being this like dread for the week coming, you going back to all these terrible things. But for me, it's the reverse. I'm looking back. It's just like regret, and it's not really fear.
Regret over what? What do you regret?
Regret over not making the most of the small amount of time that we have. I've just been realizing, you know, I started a couple of years ago doing a lot of ketamine, and it's made me sort of see things a little bit differently, that we're just all sort of waiting here until the end.
And so, and this is, okay, so you're okay, so ketamine. What did ketamine do?
Well, it sort of made me look at things differently, because when I'm on ketamine, I'm just like kind of in this bodiless state of just observing, like just feelings going back and forth, just like stars in space. And you come back out of your ketamine, and then you look at everything, and it's like it loses all of its context. So like the things that used to be meaningful, you know, you just see them as just these little blips in like this infinite universe. And so because we're just like this little piece on this infinite ocean, I don't know how to make the most of that. And that's why I feel like during the weekend, I'm just sitting here just kind of in this routine. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, it sounds like to me, I'm gonna give you some direct exploratory guidance. All right, some direct Leslie guidance. This experience that you're having, that you're not making the most of it.
Yeah.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, in therapy, if you go to a therapist, they'll try to reason this away. They'll try to give you some tools and give you some little pep talks and give you some worksheets. And, you know, somebody brought up earlier the book. A book is all nonsense. What this is right here is the tip of the iceberg of unlocking your power. Now that seems weird, right? How can something, you know, so profoundly existentially miserable lead to something good? And I don't mean in like one of these gay philosophy things. I don't mean that, okay? I don't mean this like, oh no, if I read enough Camus, I'm going to be okay to just, you know, look at some weeds blowing in the wind or something like this. That's all nonsense. Yes. We don't like that. What I mean to say is that this is only the beginning of this misery. Because you talked earlier about feeling better when there's structure, right? And why do you think you feel better when there's structure?
I don't think I feel, well, I guess I do feel better. It's just more that it's numbed, because like when it's the 9 to 5 time, I'm just busy until the last like 2 hours of the day. And then I just like eat some food and take a shower and take a shit and go to bed and forget about everything. And then the time comes when you have the free time and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? Because the rest of the time I'm just sort of this slave, you know, to all these things to just keep myself going. I have a job to eat, I have to have a job to have rent, and then I have to eat to live, and then I got a shit to live, and then I got to sleep to live. And then it's the weekend, and it's like, now I don't have to do things for 2 days. What did I do all the 5 days for?
Exactly.
So
now there's the next step. You're worried about wasting these 2 days, but the structure is what, you know, buffers this misery. The structure kind of like keeps you busy from thinking about it, like you said. And this distance, this defense, that's the next thing to go. You don't need more structure. You don't need seeking more things out there to make it worth it. You need to go the opposite direction, and you're on the cusp of something tremendous. Find a Hoobie, says So Monster 400. Find a Hoobie. I don't know if that's like a streaming service or.
I got so many fucking hobbies. I'm just doing it to numb the pain here. I've got like 5 hobbies, and I'm busy till like 9 p.m. every night, and then till the weekend comes, and I feel like I just have to have some amount of time where I'm not doing anything, and then this is what happens.
Taco Shinobi with 100 bits. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Taco Shinobi. We're going to be doing a male affirmation in just a moment. Now listen. Real quick affirmation. If you find yourself miserable on the weekend and scared of Sunday, just think about what it would be like if you always... And that's good enough. That's good enough for fellas for right now. Now, more to your point, though, listen. This is great. You're picking at the scab of the weekend. Tremendous start. Tremendous start. But now... We need to go a little further. We need to start picking at the larger scab of the weekday, the structure.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that could be just as simple as, you know, throughout the week, just kind of use that sort of critical distance that you've given yourself through ketamine, that sort of arm's length away from so many facets of your life that used to just kind of casually give it meaning that you never really looked at. But bring that critical thought, that critical faculty into the week. You know, I don't know if you're at ever at a copier or if you're at your desk or whatever it is. Maybe even enjoying a lunch or something, and you're like, just really like take it in. Like look around, look left to right, look at your hands, smell the air, feel how much moisture is in the air. Sit there and don't move for a certain period of time. Allow that awareness that ruins your life during the weekend to start creeping up like a weed in different parts of the week. So we don't need to give more meaning. We don't need to run from this feeling. This feeling is powerful. This feeling is seeing reality as it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where your power resides, David. Your power resides in being able to feel and see and touch and experience reality. The reality both outside and inside of you. And this is it. A therapist will try to fix it, only to make it worse. So just plant some seeds. Plant some seeds and let them grow like weeds in the middle of your week. Okay?
Seeds and weeds.
Seeds and weeds. Yes, exactly. How does that sound? How does that sound? Hearing me say all that. How do you feel about hearing that?
I feel like it actually gives me something to look into the week for, which is a nice change. You know, Usually I'm just like I go into the week like an addict who's just like getting their next score to like numb it all.
Right.
You know, but if you're like tending to your garden of seeds and weeds, then you got something a little more than just that next like hit off the crack pipe.
Right. Exactly. How am I? Yeah, boobies, says Poor. Just the word boobies from Poor.
I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, that's a nice tonic, right? You need a little uplift. Just imagine a pair of tits, right?
Yeah, I just don't know how to see any.
In real life, you mean?
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, let's work on that next time. For now, you've got quite a bit of homework. Cosmic Video.
I do.
Thank you. You got quite a bit of homework, and then let's work on the tits thing next time, all right?
Yeah, I'll think about that for next. For now, it's Seeds and Weeds, baby.
Seeds and Weeds, brother. I love that. I love how you made that a little thing. Take it and then let us know how it goes, all right? We'll talk about it next time you call.
Okay, well, I will. Seeds and Weeds, Seeds and...
Absolutely. Namaste, David. Namaste, David. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much, David. 2 calls. Really nice. Put a nice little rounding on the night, on the day. Blessings. And namaste to all of us for being here. Guys, we did it. Another exploration. How you guys feeling right now, right? We got that whole exploration out. We explored the weekend. Seemingly a simple topic, but didn't we make hay out of it? Did we not make hay out of tonight's theme? Deceptively simple, but we did something with it because of the program, because of you all, because of your commitment to the next level. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Wow. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I love that you all are here so late with me. On a beautiful Friday night. Well, guys, before we go, tomorrow we will in fact be streaming, and we're going to be doing something that we haven't done in a while here. Very exciting stuff. We will be doing a meditations with Leslie Tanner. A meditations with Leslie Tanner. We haven't done this in a long time. We're going to be doing, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Meditations with Leslie Tanner is a night dedicated to hearing calls from you all and improvising guided meditations for each and every single caller based on their specific needs and directions in that moment. I will be accompanied by a very special guest visual artist who will be improvising visuals alongside my improvised guided meditations. Tomorrow night, starting at around, I might start it earlier, but it'll kick off at 8 Central Time. I might start it earlier just to let people file in, but we'll be taking calls, going to the meditation. Taking calls, going to the meditations. It's going to be a really special night tomorrow. It's going to be a very special night tomorrow. Stone Monster Meditations, I'd work. Oh, really? Is where you found it first? So fun. Yeah, it's going to be a very special night, guys. A very special night. We haven't done one in a long time, so I'm really excited to get back on the horse. No, it's not with VJ Cat, but I don't know why we haven't done it yet. No, it's an analog glitch guy, artist that used to hang out on streams and used to stream more regularly, but he still got all the equipment, he still got that dog inside him. So tomorrow night, stream, very fun. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank my moderators, as always. I got to update this list. I'm just now realizing I always fucking remember at the end of the stream. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you to my community of devoted life for being here. For making this possible. If you're looking for the most effective way to support the program and everything that's churning behind the scenes, there's a lot. We got, merch, we got a website, we got some other things churning, various stages of completion. The most effective way to support it is through the community of devoted light at patreon.com. Get that podcast, get that postcard, join my most inner circle for just a couple dollars. Namaste. Namaste, Psyduck. Blessings to you. Blessings to you, Circe. And Cosmic. Not Mish, Louis _ Vive Francais. MDPC, you've been hanging. Great to see you. MDPC. Who should we raid? Let's see here. Kind of want to do... Is Luke on? Oh, let's do Shindigs. Yeah, actually, let's do Heidi. I love Heidi's fun. I don't see Toaster. I don't see Toaster live right now. Let's do Heidi Beat. Let's take this energy of clarity and warmth. Namaste. Duncan did it. Everybody's working for the weekend. Ha 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 ha. Namaste. No, Toaster is, well, yeah, wow, what surprise. Is it really a surprise that Toaster lied? Guys, if you are not following Heidi Beat, once we get over there, smash follow. She's great. She's awesome. I love her stream. And I'm honestly surprised she doesn't have more people watching her. She's one of the funniest streamers, in my opinion. So smash some follows over there when you get over there, if you're not following her. Toaster is a trickster. Yes. Well, I guess that's a nice way to say it, but a young genius. Yes, young genius. Heidi Beat. Very talented. Very talented. Well, guys, I'll see you tomorrow night for a Meditations with Leslie Tanner. It'll kick off at 8 Central Time. I'll start it a little earlier than that. But either way, guys, thanks so much for being here, and blessings to all of you. And everybody, all the Raiders, Space Cat, Civic, Loudmouth, namaste to all of you. Cooker, thank you so much for the very generous subs, and to a much lesser extent, Bit Wars and the rest of you guys who donated way less. But namaste to, big namaste to Cooker Pie, less tiny to everybody else. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow night for Meditations with Leslie.